Skype shuts down, and dedicated large language model apps. This is Mac Voices. Mac Voices is supported by MacVoices Magazine, our free magazine on Flipboard and on the web. Want to cut through all the noise and find out what you can do with your Apple gear? MacVoices Magazine focuses on just that, aggregating the best how-to articles and information. Get it by searching for Mac Voices in the Flipboard app or visiting macvoices.com/magazine. I wanted to bring this one up just because I, sort of for fun, sort of for a lot of reasons. But Skype is shutting down, and Microsoft is, for fun. I have a reason, Dave. I have a reason.
I know.
Skype is shutting down. Microsoft is pushing users to Teams. Okay, so there've been different podcasts that have been doing tributes to Skype and everything.
Gosh.
Yeah, I was a Skype user, and I recorded a lot of Mac Voices episodes back when we were only doing audio and just starting to get into video. And for a while, it worked great. Then Microsoft bought it, and it became less great, like a lot less great. Then the pandemic came along, and Zoom just completely blew it out of the water because it was a lot less great. It was not reliable. Microsoft had kept trying to throw in interface changes and features that didn't work. And when Zoom came in and Zoom actually worked, Skype was gone. As far as I was concerned, and as far as most businesses that I'm aware of, I know I think they were still claiming, they had a fairly substantial user base, or at least claimed to, but I'm not sure.
Still sending updates.
Yeah, well, and thank you, Dave. That's it. It cracked me up because speaking of iOS updates, Skype popped up in an update, or I guess it was yesterday, that said that they were making improvements and bug fixes. And yet, the very same day, all the articles are coming out saying Skype is shutting down. Isn't it a shame, or isn't it great? Whatever. But it's like, so somebody clearly is not. It was such a boilerplate update notice that nobody bothered to mention, hey, we're going away. Marty?
I danced around the room when I read this article, because every year I get a yearly reminder that I have a Skype account because they've charged me. And or they're telling me they're going to charge me in about a month. And then I spend about 8 hours trying to figure out how to get into the damn account. And what were the security questions I put in years ago? And I have not been able to crack my own Microsoft account to shut down Skype. So this has been a blessing for me to know that I've lived longer than Skype, and it will die before me.
Stops charging you.
They'll just start charging you for Teams.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shame, and I know we bash Microsoft a lot here. Most of it is probably justified, but it seems like it's just another one of those products they took over, like several of the big companies have done in the past. And not only did they not leave it alone, they made it worse. And it's a shame, because it was a great product, and it was so reliable for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So,
those were the days.
yes. Jeff, did you want to throw something out too?
I do. And I'm glad everyone's sitting down. I think this is actually a bad move. So yes, Skype is just a hot mess. And we could sit here and run through our laundry lists of problems and annoyances. But outside of our tech bubble, there are a lot of people that use Skype a lot, and they're using it in the way that you would expect people to be using FaceTime. and so there are a lot of people that Microsoft is saying, hey, just move to Teams. Right. Like you're going to get a bunch of preteen kids that Skype with each other during the afternoon to switch to Teams. Or your grandma that you got her so that she's comfortable using Skype to talk with everyone. You're not going to get her to switch to something else. And I think, while I appreciate that Microsoft needed to make a business decision and stop putting resources into Skype, it's going to leave a hole for many people that are not tech savvy like we are, where that hole isn't going to be easy for them to fill.
One word: FaceTime.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Apple,
So how does someone who their only communication device is an Android phone and they want to call you and do a video chat where they could do it on Skype easily, how do they do that with FaceTime?
Oh, they don't.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And
now I can start a FaceTime call and invite people on Android because I can give them a URL and now they can connect to me through their web browser. But that means that I have to start the call for them.
I don't think I knew that. Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, surprise. Yeah. You can do a FaceTime event, I guess. And it'll let you set up like if you're in the calendar app, you can make a new event and set the location for FaceTime, and it'll generate a URL that you can share with people.
Interesting.
I don't think people are as stagnant, even out of the tech bubble. People are as stagnant with technology as Jeff says. I think if Grandma survived COVID, she's now doing Zoom because that was the place that people got to connect with. If kids are still doing Skype, I think maybe they're doing Snapchat, or maybe they're doing some other technology to do those same kind of connections, because they move through it quicker than we do in terms of that. I mean, there are still a lot of people invested in Facebook. My introduction to Skype was through the international market. When I started going into other countries, that was the communication du jour at that time. But I kind of think even those places have moved on to more modern and useful technologies than Skype.
I want to be very fair here about it, if I can. I have not used Skype in years.
Same.
And the reason I didn't use Skype, the reason I stopped using Skype all these years ago, is that it was completely, scratch that, 85% unreliable. It did not deliver everything. And when Zoom came along and the pandemic came along, Zoom was light years better than Skype. It was simpler to use, made much more sense, especially for group gatherings. Now, did Skype improve in those intervening years when I wasn't paying attention? Hey, maybe. I couldn't tell you. But it didn't seem like it certainly didn't seem like there was any underground or big groundswell of buzz to get back on Skype or use Skype.
Yeah.
All right. So I think what's really happening here, now that we're talking about this in Dr. Marty's group therapy session, is that I really, really don't want to have to invest the time and energy that I'm going to have to invest into helping a lot of people that I know come or move on from Skype into something else and then finding the right mix of apps and services for the various people for whatever their use case is going to be. And honestly, this is all like personal use. It's none of it is business use at all. And honestly, outside of personal use, I don't know anyone that's using Skype as a business tool.
I used it when I first started my podcast, 9 years ago?
We all did.
Yeah. I learned it from you guys. And coming at the tail end. I mean, using Ecamm's call recorder and recording the podcast. And it was good times.
Well, and before that, Paul Kafasis and Rogue Amoeba with Audio Hijack, I mean, they were the ones that figured out how to grab the audio from Skype and turn it into something that could be utilized for podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
So, a tip of the hat to them. And then eventually, things became much more sophisticated, and there were dedicated tools for this kind of thing.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Oh crap. Whatever it was important, and it is now gone from my head.
That's okay. We'll be here for a few more minutes. If you get
if it comes back, I'll just blurt it out and talk over someone. And so I apologize in advance.
Okay, that works. We are way over time. I'm going to just hit two other things that are related. The first one is that Microsoft has announced a Copilot app for Mac. Sorry,
which they allowed the iPad app to install it first, but then they blocked it for a long time.
Yeah, and also sort of related to that is that Meta plans to release a standalone AI app to compete with ChatGPT. So at this point, you can probably name your poison.
Pretty much.
I would point out that Copilot, a Copilot app is a Microsoft product, and that Microsoft has said they're going to integrate or have integrated DeepSeek into Copilot. You can write your own jokes or comments.
Mm-hmm.
I used the app today, and
DeepSeek
didn't take me where I wanted to go. I loaded it to see what the deal was with it when I knew this story was coming up.
So you're saying DeepSeek's a crappy Copilot?
No, Copilot's a crappy DeepSeek. And it just didn't. I mean, I was trying to get it to generate some graphics and was being very specific about what I wanted, and that's all around, because I tried it on a couple of different AI systems, and even in Midjourney, and it just, the text to graphics is terrible, and don't even get me started on playgrounds. But I had a purpose for trying it this morning, and loaded the app and went ahead and played with it. Unsuccessfully. So,
okay. Yeah, there you go. So this is the world we live in now. We're going to have dedicated apps for our phones for all these services, and just pay attention to who it is that you are partnering with to give information and get information.
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5, maybe 6 to choose from right now.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just table stakes at this point. If you have an LLM system and you don't have a standalone app for it on all the platforms, then you're failing.
Yep. Yeah, because Gemini's already, that was out several weeks ago as a dedicated app, if I remember correctly.
It's been out for a bit.
For Google, so yeah. Gentlemen, we got through almost everything. I am impressed. Thank you very much. I know we're way over time, though, so we cheated a little bit, but thank you for some great conversation and analysis. I do want to give Eric the last word, because Eric's in the chat room. He couldn't be with us tonight. But harking back a couple stories, he said, updates probably make Google's information more valuable. It's worth it to Google to make it easier to correct. Thank you, Eric. That's an interesting perspective.
Once again, proving that these companies are not our friends.
Right.
Yes.
None of them are.
Yeah. With that, I'm sorry, I'm choking for some reason. So we're going to get out of here before I completely lose my voice. Dave, where can folks connect with you?
You can find me at In Touch with iOS, intouchwithios.com. I'm on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/intouchwithios. We record every Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. On that YouTube channel, you can find me on the Mac Show on Fridays on the British Tech Network, and I'm on Mastodon and Blue Sky at DaveG65.
And in the sidebar of Opera.
Sometimes.
Thank you, Dave. Marty, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it, as always. Where can folks connect with you?
It's great fun being here. The easiest way to connect with me directly is Jencius, Jencius, at Blue Sky or Mastodon. Either one will work. Here on Tuesday nights with Chuck and the group with MacVoices that I truly enjoy. Wednesday nights with the old Mac gang, and Thursdays with Dave on MacVoices. Other podcast I do is Vision Profiles with Eric in the chat room, and that's on Monday nights at 9 p.m. on YouTube. You can find us there. All the podcasts and all the other information and connection you can find at the podtalk.net website.
Dave, do you want to tell him what he did, or should I?
Did I just mix people up?
Is this a thing that you wanted Dave to remind you about?
No. I wanted him to remind me about the Skype thing. No, Marty, you just referred to Dave's show as MacVoices.
Oh,
it's okay to blame me for that.
Yes.
Yeah, he's distracting me by holding up my thing. I'm like, I can't stop that, Dave.
Hey, you're like Jeff. He did it too.
Yeah, that's all right.
At least you didn't do it on stage while you're being recorded in front of everyone at MacStock.
This is true.
All right, Tuesdays with Chuck on MacVoices, Thursdays with Dave on In Touch with iOS. Both at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
I will not edit that. Thank you, Marty. Thank you. Jeff, Gamet, have you remembered that really important thing that slipped your mind?
Nope.
Okay. Well, then in that case,
the horrible thing is it was probably the answer to world peace.
Just save it for tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, we may need it tomorrow. Jeff, where can folks connect with you?
Well, when I'm not trying to remember that important thing, on the socials, I'm Jay Gamet, pretty much everywhere. I'm posting on Mastodon and PixelFed and Blue Sky. And then for shows, let's see if I pull a Jeff/Marty, or if I get it right. Chuck with you here on Tuesdays for MacVoices Live, and Dave with you on Thursdays for In Touch with iOS. Oh, Marty's distracting me. British Tech Network for the Big Show and the Mac Show on Thursdays and Fridays. And look, now they're both testing to see if I have memory persistence. They're gone. They're back. They're gone. They're back. Let's see. Brian Chaffin and I do the Context Machine, and Patrice Brendamore and I do Retro Rewatch. I believe that even with all the distractions and interruptions, I actually got through all of it.
Nicely done, Jeff. Nicely done. Thanks for being here, as always. It's a lot of fun.
And thanks for letting me join in.
Last but absolutely not least, Mr. Jim Rea, looking very pensive as we close the show out. Are you pensive, Jim?
Who wouldn't be?
That's fair.
Is that a reflection of the show or the state of the world?
The world.
Okay, thank you. I think. Where can folks find you?
Hiding. On the internet. Provue.com, PROVUE.com. And also on techhub.social, Provue Jim, PROVUE, JIM at techhub.social on Mastodon.
Great.
Follow
Thank you,
me
Jim.
there. I'm almost got 500 followers.
Nice.
Wow.
Need a few more.
Wow. Racking them up.
Okay, so everybody within the sound of my voice, go follow Jim on Mastodon.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
Always words of wisdom from Jim.
Yes.
Most times.
Yeah, it's
Well, yeah.
always, most of the time, words of wisdom
High percentage.
from Jim.
High percentage. Folks, this is Mac Voices Live. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is Tuesday night. We do this every Tuesday night. We would love to have you join us. We had a lot of people in the chat room tonight, bouncing in and out. Thank you. And thank you for everyone who was commenting. We had at least one panelist that couldn't be here tonight. No, two actually, Webb and Eric. But they snuck in there, as well as some of our other friends, feeding us information and occasionally abuse, which is fine. I wanted to just say a quick thank you to everyone who emailed and contacted me about our little introduction last week about our stance on politics here on Mac Voices Live. I did not get a single condemnation. I got a lot of affirmation. And the message I took away is that people don't come here for politics. They come here for tech and for fun. And that's about as high a compliment as I think we can get. So thank you all for your support and for viewing it exactly the way we want you to view it. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.